Do you remember how many people begged to see Caitlin play golf? Those people might like the WNBA. People who had never seen a basketball game before became interested in a basketball player all of a sudden. That's the point of business. The WNBA, on the other hand, they let go of. It's not just a missed chance to sell. This silence is a sign of a bigger problem. The WNBA doesn't seem to know what to do with Caitlin Clark, who is a star. They have amazing ability and a wide range of fans. Putting it off? Remember when fans said Caitlin Clark wasn't getting enough attention from the WNBA? What do you know? They are totally right. There is proof right in front of us, and it's not pretty. And this proves what those of us who have been speaking out about this have been saying. It doesn't seem like you guys are giving Caitlin the credit she deserves for bringing all these eyes, and the Caitlin Clark effect that we talk about. Viewership, money, all of those things. All the people who yelled this during the whole WNBA season. This is a case where we were proven right. Talk about what happened with Clark's first round of golf. The LPGA posted a lot of things about Caitlin all the time. That's right. You see her at this event. You can see what noise this is making. There's a trend for this on social media. You see Bleacher Report, that Sports Center, and all of these other places. The news is all over this, and you don't say anything. Their social media was full of Clark posts. Anything you can think of. What did the WNBA do? They looked after her like the star she is. Nothing at all. You might be thinking maybe they just missed it, but really, this was everywhere. That was made sure of by the LPGA. Nigel Korda, their best player, was paired with Caitlin. You couldn't have missed it unless you were trying to ignore it. It doesn't matter what they called it. They put their best player in the tour or league. They put her with Caitlin because they knew that would make her look better. All of their players were put in one event. You'd be crazy to think they won't have another event and ask Caitlin. Because they saw what it did for golf, they're going to ask Caitlin to as many events as they can. To be clear, this isn't just bad service. It's rude of the WNBA not to promote Clark. And fans who are upset about it aren't just fans who cheer for her. This makes it seem like the WNBA doesn't care about the success of its players outside of hoops. During the whole season we talked about that. We were right. Fans said that it seems like the WNBA is trying to drown out Caitlin Clark's voice, which is keeping her from shining to her full potential and not helping the other players in the league. We were right. The LPGA showed it with this event. Basically everything is right, and they run with it. They found a way to show it on TV. Fans who are criticizing the WNBA for not pushing Clark aren't just going on about it. They're calling attention to a real issue every time the WNBA has a chance to get new fans excited and show that they care about their players. They miss it. What does the WNBA think? Are they afraid to bring Caitlin Clark to light? No matter the reason, they're missing out and could lose fans who are sick of seeing their favorite stars forgotten. Putting Clark down is bad enough, but it gets worse over time. This girl is part of a new wave of talented people, and if the league doesn't change, they'll lose future stars before they even come along. And I will never understand why the WNBA exists. There were a lot of times this season when they didn't seem ready for what was going on. This shows that you can be ready for anything. You can do some things. I hope next season is better. The future of women's basketball is Paige Bueckers and Juju Watkins. Let's talk about them. Bueckers is a star player for UConn and has over 1 million Instagram fans. Watkins' followers are growing quickly. These athletes do more than just play, they have an impact. Think about how the WNBA would treat them if they were Clark. These stars might be thinking, is this what's in store for me? The league could lose more than just these players. It could also lose fans, money, and growth. Take a look. Everyone saw what could happen in the LPGA when they used star power. They turned a basketball player who wasn't even good at golf into a golf star for the day. A lot of people who had never seen golf before tuned in. That's what the WNBA should be doing to get people excited. Instead, the WNBA doesn't seem willing to let its stars shine, losing chances to promote players like Watkins and Bueckers. Everyone agrees that stars are important for the growth of women's basketball. They could lose new fans and watchers if they keep missing chances like they did with Clark. You're making a mistake. For people like me who never thought they'd make it as a professional basketball player. Now girls can see how it can work for them. Girls can now see that acting can make them a lot of money. Girls can now see that they can be on the big stage and college isn't that big anymore. The WNBA is a possible answer. Don't mess it up for any of those girls either. And now for the really cool part. It's not just the stars of today, it's about giving young people hope. The WNBA sends a message to young players every time they don't promote their stars. They're telling you not to bother going after professional hoops. Caitlin Clark's first round of golf made me hate the WNBA so much. Check out what Caitlin Clark did. She didn't just swing a golf club, she swung all of sports. The LPGA's smart choice to feature Clark has everyone talking about something other than hoops. I know what you're thinking, what does golf have to do with the WNBA? Hold on tight because we're about to show you how the LPGA taught the WNBA BA basic business. You won't believe what the WNBA missed. Debut, and it's not her fault that I was mad. The NBA is to blame because the L. Everything the WNBA should have done this season was done by the LPGA. They got everything right in just one day. So here it is. Caitlin was asked to a Pro-Am event by the LPGA. This wasn't even going to be on TV at first. Do you believe it? Then something crazy took place. Golf tournament. Because Caitlin Clark is playing in the LPGA event, it is getting more primetime coverage. Wednesday, the Golf Station Golf Today will start 90 minutes early and have live look-ins. People have also said that you will see Caitlin Clark warm up. They didn't stop there though. They put Caitlin with Nelly Korda, who is the best player in the world. What a powerful pair they are. This move made Caitlin look more famous and brought attention to Nelly and the LPGA. There are pictures of Caitlin and Nelly all over the place. The LPGA was very smart to do this because they knew that Caitlin would get a lot of attention. So if they put their best player, who is currently leading the sport and moving it forward, next to Caitlin for the whole event, that would be great. It's good for everyone, not just Nelly. Let's talk about how smart this move was. Caitlin wasn't the only star of the LPGA. She was put next to their biggest star. They asked, "Hey, do you like basketball also? Check out how cool golf can be." What do you know? It worked. The LPGA had a lot of hot tweets and posts. A lot of pictures and films of Caitlin were being made public. You could not look at Twitter without seeing her face. She was hot, and it wasn't even basketball season yet. Not really, there was a lot of talk online. Everywhere on Twitter she was a big deal. And the LPGA trashed this event in their ads. Now though, things get really interesting. There was more to this than just Caitlin. The LPGA used her fame to get more attention for their own players. People who had never watched golf before started to do so all of a sudden. They came to see Caitlin, but what kept them there was the great golf. And the pros at golf. They really liked it. A famous golfer named Brittany Lenticum couldn't stop admiring Caitlin. She talked about what she has done for women's sports and basketball. Having her at our golf tournament, I'm in awe, she said. Caitlin and Nelly were both put in the spotlight by this smart move, which brought new attention to women's golf. It was a win for all women's sports, not just Caitlin or the LPGA. Most likely you're asking what this has to do with the WNBA. The LPGA took a chance that paid off and showed how to use star power. There was no reaction about favoritism or diversity like there was with the WNBA. It was just smart marketing that worked. I have only seen and heard good things about this event so far. Someone said that her fans are mean, but I didn't hear anyone say that Caitlin Clark is getting too much attention when it should have been on the professional players who are there. That wasn't what we heard. We've heard things like that the whole WNBA season. Let's talk about the big problem that nobody wants to talk about, or the basketball player on the golf course. While Caitlin Clark was making news in a different sport. Who could you not find? There it is, the WNBA. Everyone can hear they're quiet and wants to know what they were thinking. You'd think the WNBA would be all over this, right? What I mean is, the LPGA was yelling Caitlin's name from the hills, but the WNBA didn't seem to know who she was. That's pretty much like acting like it didn't happen. But guess what? Everyone was talking about it because it was real. Not the WNBA though. Take a look at the LPGA. You might be thinking, maybe they just missed it. Really, how could they? On social media, Caitlin was all the rage, her face was everywhere. The LPGA kept posting pictures and vids. If you weren't living under a rock, you couldn't miss it. Also, the WNBA wasn't in the business of rock living the last time I checked. And this was the right chance for the WNBA to do something like that. Have you seen how when an NBA player or football player goes to an NBA game or somewhere else, they'll be in the comments or just say something cute? The WNBA thought this was a great time to post about it too, and they did.